Shabbat Shalom. My name is Richard Bennett, and my family and I joined TBZ soon after we moved to Brookline about 8 years ago. As a new member of TBZ's Development Committee, I'm honored to speak to you tonight. I'll start with a spoiler, in case anyone starts to get sleepy. I will be asking everyone here in person and on Zoom, members and guests alike, to consider making voluntary financial contributions to support TBZ above and beyond what you may have given in the past. It is important, and it is simple. Just take the pledge card, fold the appropriate tab, and put it in the envelope, which is your ticket. But maybe wait to fold until you've heard my pitch. And as always in well-run nonprofit organizations, emails will go out on Monday to give online. There are many ways to give generously. Please use the one that works best for you. My earliest memory of the Kol Nidre appeal is from my hometown shul in Liverpool, sitting between my dad and my grandpa when I was about 8 or 9 years old. The sanctuary was always full, warm from the mass of bodies, and filled with expectancy for the long fast ahead. One line from that Kol Nidre appeal remains with me all these years later. The speaker said, "Whatever amount you intended to pledge when you came here tonight, please increase it." Whatever amount you intended to pledge when you came here tonight, please increase it. Somehow my child's brain tucked that away for potential use many years later. At this Brookline shul, half a world away. So please, whatever you came here intending to pledge, please pledge more. I have another more recent powerful memory of a Kol Nidre appeal. A few years ago, my friend Diane Balzer stood here to ask the congregation to give. She gave a compelling account of how TBZ has provided her with a deep and rich Jewish experience which had been beyond the reach of girls and women in her youth. She explained the importance of continuing to invest in an institution and a community that nurtures the leadership and engagement of all members of our community across the generations. With those thoughts in mind, I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions this evening. First, why me? By which I mostly mean why you. Secondly, why here? That is, why TBZ? And thirdly, why more? The questions and the answers are all intertwined, but let's start with the most practical. Why more? As a member of TBZ, why should you give more than membership dues? Why does TBZ have fundraisers? Why does TBZ ask for donations? The truth is quite simple. Membership dues are not enough. If TBZ simply relied on membership dues, which, by the way, it has consistently worked hard to keep as low as possible, then the shul would be compelled to operate with only around 45% of what we actually need. In other words, in a given year, less than half of the shul's budget is covered by membership dues. So, if we do not give above and beyond our dues, we'd all have to think about which half of TBZ we are willing to do without. Personally, I really don't want to do that. It's a little too much like Solomon's calling for a sword to cut the baby in half. I prefer to ask, how do we make sure we sustain this extraordinary community so that it continues to develop and thrive in the many ways it enriches all our lives? And I imagine most of you feel the same way. So, just to be clear, we are asking you to make TBZ a priority this year and over the next several years as we invest in a sustainable future for this remarkable community. Now for the deeper questions. Why are we here? I know it can be risky to pose a question like that on Kol Nidre. For some, this is the night to embark on a philosophical journey about the meaning of our lives. For others, not so much. But I mean the question in a slightly less fundamental way. Why are we here at TBZ? Why are you here? I imagine we all have different answers to this question. We all walk our own distinct pathways to this place. The TBZ community intentionally encompasses a richness and diversity of interest and experience. It is part of what makes this community special. I'd like to share my own answers to the questions, why me and why here? Maybe hearing my responses will connect with the range of answers in your minds this evening. So why am I here? What does TBZ mean to me and my family? First of all, this is the most meaningful, consistent synagogue experience I've had in my life. For context, I've been drawn to and sought out opportunities to gather with my fellow Jews in synagogues and prayer communities in many places. Oxford, Germany, France, Montreal, Princeton, New York City, London, Israel, Washington, D.C. And many of them have been great. But for me, TBZ stands out. On a weekly basis, TBZ provides me with joy, comfort, inspiration, depth, and community. I look forward to coming to shul on Shabbat mornings with my wife Deb and our children, Miriam and Reuben. I find it energizing and relaxing to join in the beautiful melodies of the Shabbat service. I find it intellectually and emotionally engaging to hear the words of Torah shared by Rav Claudia, Rav Leah, Rav Tiferet, Noah, and the many thoughtful community members and guests who share their ideas and reflections on Torah and life over the course of a year. I find a richness and depth of meaning in listening to congregants and guests chant the words of the weekly parashah as they have been chanted around the world for many centuries. And I relish the soulful connections with others of all ages who are moved to spend a couple of hours together in a sanctuary of space and time, enjoying community, reflection, and meditation in the broadest sense. I love TBZ's open invitation to be together and to enjoy whatever aspect of the weekly gathering has personal meaning, and to sit together and schmooze downstairs at the end of the service over a bagel and salad and enjoy the presence of old friends and new friends across the generations. This is a ritual or a habit I greatly appreciate and value. The special experience of a TBZ bar or bat or bar mitzvah takes it to another level entirely. First of all, on most of these occasions, whether or not I know the families, I am moved to tears as parents reflect on their child in the context of this community. One simple practice at these life cycle moments is particularly beautiful and powerful to me. As you know, one aliyah during this Torah service is often reserved for those members of the community who have been present for or played a part in the child's life so far. And it is always special to see a large group of adults, younger and older, stand up and be counted as proud members of the community for this child. When our family first started coming here, I wondered how that might look when Miriam and Reuben, who at the time were only 4 and 2, had their turns. I got to experience this in June at Miriam's bat mitzvah, and it felt awesome. The experience of Miriam's bat mitzvah embodied many of the things I love about TBZ. First of all, it is worth noting that in the lead up to her bat mitzvah, when people would ask Miriam what she was most looking forward to, she would answer without hesitation, the service. This often left the asker scratching their head, but I think some of you might have had an inkling of what she meant. It can be difficult in our rational world to speak about spirituality, but I can safely say that many of the most spiritual experiences of my life have been here at TBZ. The Ruach, the spirit that filled this shul on Miriam's bat mitzvah, remains with me. Knowing not only that all those people who are usually in the sanctuary were celebrating joyously with Miriam and our family would surely have been enough. Dayenu. but to hear repeatedly from my family from England, from out-of-town guests, family and friends from other Boston area shuls, and non-Jewish friends, just how warm and joyous and welcoming they found TBZ reinforced how special this community is and how important it is to nurture and sustain it. For those of you who might be here for the first time and are new to the beautiful Ruach, the beautiful spirituality of TBZ, I encourage you to stay strong through Yom Kippur. Because from tonight, right the way through Ne'ilah, tomorrow's concluding service, under the leadership of Rav Claudia and the extraordinary team, you are in for a deeply spiritual experience. So, why you? Why is my appeal directed to each and every adult in this congregation? First, as I have suggested, because membership dues simply do not get TBZ where it needs to be, not even halfway there. Secondly, because everyone's contribution is valuable. Whatever you're able to afford above and beyond what you might have done before. It is an important tradition among the Jewish people that everybody's contribution has value. Nobody ever knows whether it was the $18 contribution, the $1,800 contribution, or the $18,000 contribution that met a particular shul expense. All gifts add up to make us the community that we are. A third reason to consider giving, and giving generously, is that it feels great to be a contributing member of a community you value. It feels good to contribute to something that is important to you, to your family, and to the wider community. TBZ is a very special community, and one that depends for its strength and vibrancy on the contributions of everyone, here and at home. So please remember, whatever you thought you might pledge when you came to shul tonight, please pledge more. Please give generously for the sustainable future of this congregation. May we all have a meaningful fast and be sealed in the book of life. K'mar Chatima Tova.